Hey buds, 21.9 is just around the corner, and I have made all of this to showcase everything new coming in case you haven't been keeping up with all of the updates. So let's start with all of the newer things that everybody has been talking about over this summer, and that is of course the new copper variants. Here we go, we got different types of copper lightning rods, and all of these work the exact same. Now they are just waxed, weathered, stuff like that. And it's just something to add in a little bit more detail to the copper, make it kind of all really consistent with itself. And that goes for the chains as well. We have the non-eroded to the fully eroded, and they can all be waxed. And because these are the second variant of chains that have been added to the game, the regular chains have been renamed to iron chains. And that also gives us a new recipe for the hanging sign. Now you can only make hanging signs with these iron chains. So you can't really do it with copper chains yet, but iron chains are the go-to for these. But moving on from the chains, we have these copper bars, and they look so freaking sick. They're the exact same waxed, weathered, everything. We also have the addition of this brand new item called the copper nugget. And of course, in the crafting table, you can make these into copper ingots, and you can craft them back down just like you would an iron ingot or anything like that. And these are actually used to craft the brand new lights. That's right, we have copper lanterns now, and they are, you know, waxed, oxidized, everything. And of course, all of these have the exact same light level of a normal Minecraft torch. So you don't need to worry about anything like that. All of these are like the exact same light level. They're just something a little bit cooler. Maybe it'll fit better with maybe like a trial chamber inspired build or something would go really sick with this. But we also have this cute addition of the copper torch. So in order to make these copper lanterns, all you've got to do is go to your crafting table, take those copper nuggets that we just made, and put in a copper torch. And as far as I'm concerned, you will always get this regular copper lantern, so you'll have to let it oxidize like over time in order to get some of these nicer blue ones. But you might be wondering, hey, Elle, how do you make a copper torch to begin with? Well, it's super easy. You get one stick, one torch, and one copper nugget. And when these were first introduced, I actually did some Googling, and I found out that yes, when you burn something like copper, it actually produces a green flame.
And you know, that's the way scientists, when they investigate an unknown material, they'll burn it in a special oven and see what light frequency or light wave it gives off. And they, you know, each one of the chemical elements on the periodic table has a different frequency or a different color of light. That's pretty sweet.
So it's really cool that we're seeing something like science-y implemented into the game, because I had no idea about this, and I think a lot of other people had no idea either. And sticking with that copper theme, we've got copper chests, all of which are waxed and oxidized. They have the exact same chest space as a normal chest or a barrel would. Now, these can also be put to double chests, but be careful, because if you have a fully oxidized or any others, let's say we got this medium oxidized one, it will revert to the least oxidized colors. And it doesn't matter which one you put first, they will both stay and become the lesser oxidized one. So be careful when you're putting these two together. I don't know if this is a glitch or not, but it's something that they haven't removed, and I've brought it up many a time in all of my videos. Is it a bug? Is it a glitch? I don't know. Maybe it's a feature. All right. Yes, the copper golems have been added, everybody, and they are coming in this new update, and they are so freaking cute. Now, I do want to be clear that these are the copper golem statues, so they're not actually the copper golem. We're gonna get into the copper golem as a mob here in a minute. Their hitbox actually only goes to about their, I guess their pupil, and then the rest of it is all empty space. So if I really wanted, I could put a slab and maybe find a way to, like, maybe I get a trap door or something, and we can have like a little jut out, like a little cube there. A little tiny baby cube would be cool. But these little guys are not just here to stand still and do nothing. They can also be posed, and it's so freaking cute. And all of their poses actually produce a different redstone output. And I've already made a video all about this where I actually convinced my friends to try and solve a copper golem puzzle. So make sure that you check out that video. There are a bunch of different ways that you can model these guys and have redstone turn off, turn on, and so on. Now on to the copper golem. Now he's gonna go to one of these chests and he's going to try to open them. There we are. He's gonna be looking through, and the way that these work, they will look through every single copper chest until they find an item. and then they'll stand around for about 7 seconds before trying again. So he'll go back up on top of this and he will look. So they put 16 chests in here, and he will eventually search in that chest and pick up these 16 chests. So here he goes, picking it up. He'll have it in his hand. There he goes, and you can actually right-click that out of his hand if you really want to. This guy probably thinks I'm really annoying taking it out just to make him do it all again. So there he goes, he'll pick it up again, and he will put it, boom, square in the chest. And the reason why I selected 16 is because actually, that is the maximum amount of items that he can move at once. And he will continue to do this forever. As long as there are copper chests nearby, he will continuously do this. And this guy over time is actually going to oxidize, like, well, copper everything, unless you honeycomb him. Whoa, that is not what I did. I'm pretty sure he's honeycombed. Oh my God. What a weird hitbox. So if you honeycomb him, you can always wax it off, but if not, he will eventually become one of these guys. And if you don't want for that to happen, of course, you can always just, you know, re-wax, and there will be a brand new copper golem, and your copper golem will come alive once again and continue their work. We have a new door system, which are the copper doors. And of course, they are waxable, they are oxidizable, and they're just really cool. Also, copper golems can in fact open any type of doors, not just copper doors, but they can open any type of door and walk through. So if you randomly hear your doors start to being opened and you got copper golems around, no, it's not Herobrine or anybody trying to pull a prank on you. It's just these guys walking through the copper doors. Over here, we got Hank with his copper horse armor. So there are actually a bunch of places that this copper horse armor can spawn in at. We got dungeons, pyramids, end cities, jungle, a bunch of different places. So be on the lookout for this, because no, you cannot craft this. I really wish you could, but it looks so cool. Like, we have the little oxidized portion in the middle. We got this nice, cool, like, non-oxidized. It's so freaking sick. You're looking great, Hank. And you guys thought we were done with copper. We got a full set of copper tools over here. We got a copper sword, copper pickaxe, axe, shovel, and hoe, and of course the snazzy looking armor. And in order to craft these, it's the exact same recipe as things like copper or diamond or, you know, whatever. Just put the copper ingots into the crafting bench and make this. Now, these tools are a little bit slower than iron, but they do make up for that in durability. So if you have a crap ton of this, then yeah, use it. But if not, I don't really see the point in making it. And no, you cannot break diamonds with them, unfortunately. It's a bit of a letdown, but it's still pretty cool. And another unsung hero of this update is actually this new block that has been coined the vertical slab. Yes, after all these years, we can finally say we have vertical slabs. Now, these bad boys are the shelf block, and it comes from every single type of wood variant, but these are not just vertical slabs, they also hold items, which is so freaking cool. Look, you get blocks, put it in. Maybe you have a chest here that you're sorting or something, or an area of your base that you don't want like a stupid sign to be in. Now you've got this. But that's not all. Things like banners especially look so great, especially when they don't have any underlying messages. But these are actually redstone compatible. You'll see back here we have these repairators, and you can connect up to 3 different shelves, put them together, and turn on this lever. You'll hear a little noise go off, kind of like a footstep or a button of some sort. And if we walk back on over, all of these textures will now be changed. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like when the redstone is powered on. And this is already a brilliant visual change. However, if I was to right click, there go all of my hotbar. All 9 slots have been added right here. So let me get a different hotbar, and if I right click again, I can just swap in and out hotbars. And in order to do this, remember, you need to have this redstone on, because if you turn that off and right click, you'll only get 1 item at a time. And also, you can actually put stacks of blocks in here. See that in my inventory right now? I have 64 of every different type of slab that I have, and you can just boop, and it's in there. And a lot of people have been praising this, saying that it might be like the newest way of doing like an inventory swap. I think it's really good, especially if you can set these up pretty quickly and have like redstone, like, oh, I need X, Y, and Z block, and then just quickly boop, and go over here, finish up what you're doing, boop, Now that all of the really cool stuff is out of the way, let's talk about a few minor things that they've changed. I've already brought up that iron chains are now in the game, replacing the old chains, so that's nothing new. But a lot of people have been very sad because spawn chunks have been removed entirely. Which I don't really make like spawn related farms or anything like that. I actually had an issue on my Let's Play world where I didn't have any mob, monster, or friendly spawn in at all because there were too many cod in my spawn's like little fishing pond. So I'm actually glad that they're removing spawn chunks, so I might be in the small minority there. But let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people are very upset about this, so it might be reverted in the future, who knows? We also have a new peaceful mob egg tulip, so let's get this warden egg here, change our game mode to peaceful, and now when I hover over any hostile mob, it will say next to it, disabled in peaceful, and they will no longer spawn in for 1 game tick. And speaking of minor improvements, they have made the dyes a lot more colorblind friendly. Now, I am not colorblind, so I cannot really speak on if this helps or not. I'm gonna let the people that are colorblind actually say if this helps. I think that there is a flaw with this system in that these all look really, really similar still, but they should add something in like Vanilla Tweaks' separate dyes. This Vanilla Tweaks example of how you can make the dyes very different, all while also helping colorblind people, stands out so much more to me. Mojang, if you're listening, please make something like this. I don't think that these dyes are really cutting it. It is a good step in the right direction, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Like, I don't know what this little brown bit at the bottom is. Okay, but moving on. We have overall performance improvements. I have 133 FPS, but I normally play on 12 render distance. Now I'm getting closer to 160. So if you have areas of your world that have like a lot of mobs or a lot of farms and so on, your gameplay should be very much so improved, as well as try testing out higher render distances. And remember, do not push your PC farther than it can actually go. Of course, we wouldn't want to break anyone's PC. It's really weird playing on 20 render distance. I'm so accustomed to 12 render distance because Minecraft is a very unoptimized game. So it is nice that they are adding a little bit of things that are going to help that going forward. Minecraft's also added in new sprites, and there are ways to get these sprites on signs. I could not figure it out, so boop, we'll hit the button and we'll get a diamond chest plate. And if we hover over it, you'll see that its name is diamond chest plate. I am not educated on this enough to actually know how this works. We also have a new F3 menu, and you can probably already tell by looking at my F3 menu, everything is a lot nicer to look at. So if we go ahead and hit F3 and F5, we will be brought up this new menu. And what you can do here is change how your game kind of displays all of its information. But things like biomes over here you can put on always, and you'll see at the top right we have biome, Minecraft beach. A lot of these features are more like if you're really, really heavily into like customizing the game. I feel like something that they really have to add is a day counter. Now you can get that in local difficulty, but look at how much crap is up there. Realistically, we just need day 3, day whatever, you know, keep it simple. But moving on, we have the new /Fetchprofile command, and I actually made a full video about this as well. So the command itself is /Fetchprofile, of course, and I've not been able to figure out this ID like name convention, but if you do name, then it's going to be referring to the username. And now all you've got to do is type in a player's username. So let's go with Lady Agnes, whoops, if I can type, and we'll get this chat message that said, resolved profile for name, Lady Agnes. You can copy the component, give item, summon a mannequin, or copy. And when you click on give item, bunch of this is going to pop up. This is just the command that it is going to run. Run command, you will get Lady Agnes's or whatever username you have, and now you can put their head everywhere. They, of course, have Keybind quality of life updates, so you can actually have multiple things be the exact same. We also have awesome new sneak and hold, sprint and sneak toggles, as well as attack, destroy, and use and hold. And they have added in 4 new game rules. So this first one that we're going to talk about actually is super simple. It is just to turn off PvP, and it is /game rule PvP false. You can also disable usage of nether portals. So /game rule allow entering nether using portals to false. And we'll just click that button here. Even though I'm in creative, I cannot physically go into this nether portal here. We also have the option to disable monster spawns with /Gamerule spawn monsters to false. So essentially you can have peaceful mode with absolutely 0 monsters, but still have the hunger and still have the reason to like farm and everything like that. They've also updated the command block output toggle, and that has been changed to /Gamerule command blocks enabled to true. And of course I need that on because I'm using command blocks for what's right behind me. These are the new mannequins, and this is a mob that can only spawn if you type in /summon Minecraft mannequin. Now, there are a bunch of ways to spawn these guys in, change their rotation, change their skin, make it a player, make them have items, make them have armor, make them move, make them sleep, make them swim. Aquaman, what are you doing here? And I have gone through and made so many videos about this. It's actually insane. I even made my own Minecraft themed map. That's how much I love this feature. And the last, but probably the most exciting thing for future updates is in the end. Now that we are in the end, we will be able to be on the lookout for end flares. Now, the reason why this is so exciting is because this is a step in the direction for vibrant visuals to come to Java Edition. So once you have killed the Ender Dragon, end flares will start to like spawn into the world, and they'll have a little bit of noise play with them, and they will make these purple little mists appear. And let's wait for one of them now. Come on, there we go. Get that little eerie noise in the background. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Vanilla shaders are coming. Go. You'll see that the end stone is getting a little bit different color, the obsidian, and then it'll all start to go back to how it was. Oh my gosh, that was a long one. Oh my, but you can see the color actually like change. Now everything's a lot darker. It's so cool. It's so freaking cool. But that is everything coming to 21.9, aka the Copper Age. If you guys have any questions, especially about mannequins, I have a bunch of videos that you guys can check out to customize mannequins and so on. And as always, buds, remember to join the village today. It's only a click away. And special thank you to our members, Aya Lilith, the Happy Tree Hugger, and Kinboshi.